What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster. This is episode 30 now on the series. What you guys are seeing right here is a little bit of the scenery that I added to the Autobahn off camera. I also said in the last episode that the Autobahn didn't have a speed limit, which is not true. In some places, it does have a speed limit of 81 miles an hour. But as for the scenery over here, it's nothing too crazy. It's pretty basic. I made a nice little tunnel right here with a couple of lights. Don't pay too much attention to the lights. They are nowhere near straight enough for my liking, but since it's in a tunnel, I'm just gonna ignore it. I'll never see it again. Decoration over here, pretty basic. It almost looks repeated, but I promise, guys, I went around and tried to place down trees as randomly as I could, but we just have a couple of spruce trees out here, nothing crazy. And of course, I had to remake the mountain underneath of the track so it wouldn't look so weird out here. And I think it turned out really, really nice. It definitely looks a lot better. Even the Phoenix going around here looks a lot nicer, but I pretty much did the same scenery style that we did over here on this mountain, where the raging river goes through, the splash zone goes through, the Pelican goes around, and the 2G train goes through. But what we're going to be doing today, guys, is we are going to be adding yet another ride that's going to go through the mountain over here. I may even make it go through the mountain on this side. So if you guys didn't already notice, I do have a queue placed down for this new ride, and it is going to be called El Tronco.
El Tronco.
Which is Spanish for the trunk, literally, or the log. And if you still didn't get the hint there, we are going to be making a log flume today, boys. That's right. And hopefully it turns out looking pretty good. So originally, I wanted to put the log flume over here. Now, there's absolutely no space for a queue. And then I thought, oh yeah, over here in this pretty decently open area, I could probably make something work here. Well, I tried off camera while I was doing the terrain editing over there by the Phoenix, and it did not go so well. Every single thing that I tried looked terrible. So I decided, you know what? We're gonna utilize the new area that we've been working on over here, and we're gonna place down a pretty good size station, which is the same station as the Autobahn. So with that being said, it's gonna be too wide, so I'm gonna have to go through really quick and edit this thing. Now, before I get into that, I should note, guys, a lot of you are probably wondering what the structural stability of this building is, and it's pretty sound. I made sure to bring all the pillars down to the pond floor, so it would at least be sort of realistic in that it's like a pier. Perfect. Dude, this looks cool. What's it look like from underneath now? Got a couple more supports in there for the path. All right, now that the queue is done, let's go ahead and add our priority pass entrance and exit. And there we go. We got our priority queue figured out now. Also, guys, I did forget to mention, take a look at the bottom left here. We have finally hit $1 million in the park. We have $1.2 million now in the bank. I remember when we were first starting out and we had to take out a loan just so we could build a food court next to the Kamikaze over here. Man, have we come a long, long way. Now, if you guys are new here and this is your first time checking out the series, I highly suggest you check out the link in the description. You can find the link to the series playlist there and catch up on any of the previous episodes that you may have missed if you're wondering how in the world we got here. So we'll head on back over to the log flume. The min rider load, that's of course got to be full load. We got to cram as many people on the log at one time as possible. We'll turn on don't block station, turn the equal priority to high priority. That way people know we're not messing around. And then we'll have to come through and change the operation mode here in just a sec. But we're gonna have to come in and edit the track on the backside because we need quite a bit more station here. And there we go. And now we have one monster of a station, dude. Uh-oh. Why'd our entrance and exit disappear? That's not good. There we go. Back to normal. All right, so what I wanted to do, we have one operation mode and that's standard, but what I wanna see here is how many logs or Troncos we can add here. Looks like the maximum's gonna be 5. for now. Maybe once we do some chain lifts or just have some more track in general, we might be able to add a couple of more. We're gonna change the name here to El Tronco.
El Tronco.
And let's get going on this track, dude. This is gonna be so sweet. So, right out of the gate here, it's gonna go right over top of the ATM, which kind of looks cool, but I feel like people would be hitting their heads on that. So, we're gonna do a conveyor belt lift hill start right here. We're gonna bring it up just until it hits the ATM. We'll do the hill end, and then right here we're gonna do a short as we can anyways. Let's do a 45 to the left, and then we'll do a 45 back to the right so it's nice and straight again. And this is gonna go right over top of the track for the Autobahn, which should be pretty cool. Now at this point we're gonna go straight, but we're gonna drop it down 11.25 degrees. We're gonna bring it back up to a 0, and we're gonna turn auto tunnel on. Let's do a 15-foot tunnel. What does that look like? Oh, dude, that's perfect. And then we'll have it do a 90 to the right, another 90 to the right. We'll do a 45 to the left here, to a 90, to a 22.5. I'm gonna turn auto tunnel back off. We don't need it through right here. We want a long 0 right here going down 11.25, and then a nice short 22.5 turn to the left, back up to 0, an 11.25 turn to the left, an 11.25 turn to the right. And now this is where I think we can sort of get creative with it. So what I want to do here is start the conveyor belt lift. We're gonna do a pretty decent sized conveyor belt, nothing too wild. We just have to make sure it's not gonna intersect with the Stinger. I think we're good here. Of course, people on the Stinger could probably spit on all the people that are gonna be riding El Tronco.
El Tronco.
All right, and this will be the start of the log flume drop here. And I want to try to drop it through the water. I know that's not really realistic, but not necessarily through the water, but I want it to be at water level. We're only going down 20 degrees here. So if we lift it back up to 11.25 and then back up to 0, that's technically through the water. That's not what I was looking for. Let's go up to a 0. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And then we'll do a 45-degree turn to the right, and then a 22.5 to the right. This will do a 33.75, and then an 11.25 to the right. And at this point, we're gonna start another chain lift. And this one's going real high, real high. We're gonna try to carry a ton of speed inside of the mountain over here. So we'll get it up to about there, should probably be good. And now let's do a drop, dudes. This is gonna be awesome. This goes a lot steeper than 20 degrees. It doesn't say what the angle is. Oh, can we do that? Ooh, that's cutting it a little close. The Pelican car almost hit it. I'm gonna fast forward here. Let me know what you guys think, of course, in the comments if you think this would never happen. Oh my god, I missed it. That thing was coming around the corner so quick, dude, I didn't even see it. Okay. Did you guys see that? I'll try to slow it down in post when I'm editing this. But it just skims the top of here. God, I don't know, dude. That might be pushing it. Let's back it up. We can back it up just the tiniest bit. Extend this out. This should give us enough space. Yeah, that looks much better there. And at this point, we'll do the drop end. Oh, splashdown start. That's cool. I didn't know we could do that. Hang on a second then. Splashdown section. Oh, dude, that's gonna be so cool. I'll have to fix the trees and the terrain after the fact, but I think this could look pretty nice. We'll do the splashdown end right here. And of course, now it's gonna try to go through the inside of the raging river. So I guess we could turn it to the left and use the same tunnel that the raging river uses. That might be kind of cool. Do a 56.25 there. We'll turn our auto tunnel back on to, let's say, 10 feet. Ooh, I think auto tunnel actually has to be a little bit more intense than that. 15, 16 feet is probably the standard. Do a 91-foot section of track here. Another 91-foot section still going straight. And at this point, I think I want to do a conveyor belt lift up. We'll keep auto tunnel on just for a second here. There we go. Turn auto tunnel back off. We'll do the conveyor belt lift end. We'll do a 56.25 turn to the right. Another conveyor belt here. And then we're gonna try to make it above the 2G train. Does that clear? Oh, just barely, but it clears. And then we'll do the end here. I want a 90-degree turn to the right here, going down at a 20-degree angle. How close do we get to that? Pretty close? Yeah, we're pretty close. So let's do a 22.5-degree turn to the left, and then a 45 to the right, and we should miss this just barely, but we'll still utilize that tunnel, which would be kind of cool. So we'll do a 45 through here, do a 78.75 turn to the left, one more up just a little bit higher, conveyor belt end right there, and let's try to do, well, let's see, we can't turn a drop, right? Yeah, we can't turn a drop. So we'll do the end there. Let's turn this 90 degrees this way. We'll go down -20 just to, you know, pick up a little bit of speed. Flatten it off to a 45 and then a 22.5. And let's try to do our drop right about here. Huge incline up to about the same height as we had before, maybe even a little higher. A nice steady drop as far down as we can go. And right here underneath of the 2G train, we're gonna do a nice splash zone. And I think we might just have a pretty casual cruise here. All right, and right here, we're gonna do another conveyor belt lift so we can make it over top of our outgoing track, and we'll connect it back up to the station. This thing's kind of crazy, you guys. All right, under operations, we are going to max out the number of rafts on this thing all the way up to 20. That should be about perfect. So while this tests out, let's go over here where we made this very cool splash zone that's totally not intersecting all of our terrain here. And we are going to try to basically flatten this down. And of course, now that we have a ride through it, I don't know if it's gonna wanna cooperate. There we go. We really just need to hide a lot of this terrain that's clipping through. We don't need to lower it down all the way. Okay, so I know this looked pretty bad before, but I do think I managed to clean it up pretty well. So we do still have the tunnel down here for the 2G train. We also have a much better looking splash zone here now. And you guys, it does work. I saw a bunch of those logs coming through here as we were editing the terrain, and it seems like it's gonna work out okay. Here comes a couple now. The testing's probably over, but I do wanna show you guys this section because it looks pretty sweet. So there's one, now another one will come behind it, of course. The water on the side doesn't do much other than just catch the water that splashes.
El Tronco.
But it does look pretty cool. So let's go back here to the start and let's see what we got going on. We have a 4.93, a 3.59, and a 2.16 for a prestige of 1398. Divided by 35 would be 39.94. So I'm gonna charge $39.50 for this, and we are going to open it up. The track colors I do actually want to change. I'm gonna do black for everything, including all of the pillars. Make it look a little bit more sleek. The raft color will of course stay brown. There's no reason to change that. And we'll make the operator colors all black. Lastly here, before we start riding this sucker, we have to go into our southwest area work roster and make sure we have El Tronco selected.
El Tronco.
To be worked on by the mechanics and cleaned by the janitors and patrolled by the security officers. It does look like people are starting to make their way in, which is awesome. Are we gonna have any priority pass users? It doesn't look like it. Wow, I'm really surprised. Out of this whole group here, not a single priority pass person. Let's get into the ride camera and let's see if any of these rafts actually have someone on it, because I know we have don't block the station turned on, so I'm assuming it didn't let anyone on before all of them started going. It doesn't look like it, so let's go to number 1 here because it will be the first one back. All right, the first boat has made it back to the station. It's gonna let our first group of people on, and they are out of here. So I'll probably have a little bit of music over this section here, and I'll try to fast forward through the slow bits, like these troughs here. I'm not gonna have much to say, but this area over here is looking pretty good. I'm gonna have to move those lights over top of the Autobahn track, and I'll have to add some lights in here as well. Technically our first drop, it's probably not gonna go very fast, but still a little exciting, I suppose. This area I thought was gonna be pretty cool because it has to go past that little pirate scene that we have over here. And to the first actual drop. Pretty quick through here, through the splash section. That looks nice. And then we got a nice peaceful little trough here going right up next to the track for the Raging River. Another big chain lift. This isn't going to be a crazy drop either. Crazy meaning fast, but it is a drop. And then we're going to have another chain lift and another drop that's not crazy at all, but it does eventually go into a nice drop. Ooh, gotta move that tree. Ouch. That would have hurt. Pretty cool through there. Now underneath the priority queue for the Raging River. Up this big chain lift. This is the biggest drop of the entire ride. Up and down. And it even has, grass clipping through the splashdown section there. I'll have to fix that as well. That looks pretty good, dude. It could have probably been longer, but that's all right. And lastly, up and over this chain lift, over top of the Kraken, which you can't really see because it's directly underneath of you, and into the station. So that is our new ride,
El Tronco.
Guys, hopefully you like it, but I'm gonna go through here and fix some of the clipping issues we got going on. This whole section here has terrain coming through it. All right, looking much better through here. I don't see any more grass clipping through the bottom sections of the track, so I think everything there is good. We had a tree that we needed to remove. This tree right over here, we're gonna move this to right there. Should be just fine. As long as we're not going straight through it, I think we'll be all right. And lastly, right here needs to be taken down just a bit, just like that. That looks a ton better. And we have 14 new notifications, which mean probably 14 rides have broken down. Everything is breaking down. The Phoenix is broken. 2G Train is broken. We're gonna go around and refurb everything. Okay, after refurbing everything, hopefully that holds us over a little bit. But now we are up to $1.3 million in the bank. And the park is super, super full. We have a ton of room that we could add things, off to the side out here, but we don't have really any way of getting new path sections brought out there. So what I think we may be doing in the next episode, guys, is completely starting from scratch. Now, I'm going to come back to this park, of course, and do a full episode where I just ride through all the different rides and sort of talk about each one and why I made them the way that they are. But I do think it would be kind of nice to try to do another park on a much more difficult setting, because this one was a little too easy for us. So I think I'm going to end things there for today, you guys. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.